welcome to October's vlog. October, November? I mean, it'll be posted in November. I've just been so tired. I just finished the con, 3 days of Fan Expo, and it was tiring. For a vendor, it's tiring. I'm going to talk about the pros and cons of Fan Expo, what I liked, what I didn't like, some things that, were of concern. And I'm also going to talk a little bit about Artist Alley, and if you're a vendor, and what to expect or what to do to actually show at a convention. You will notice in this vlog, sometimes I might call it Fan Expo, sometimes I might call it a con. Fan Expo actually a long time ago used to be split into 2 different cons, I think. See an Anime and this Comic-Con. And I think it merged into one and became Fan Expo. I might be wrong about it, but I think that's what happened, because the last time I showed at a convention or con or expo or whatever was 10 years ago. And it was at both Anime North, CN Anime, and then Comic-Con. So when I was in college, I used to do it quite a bit. In little aspects, like I'd share a table with someone and put a few pieces out here and there. This was more on a grander scale where the whole booth was mine. And as I said, like the Etsy shop, the marketing for this, a lot of it was to practice my skills as a graphic designer, to see what influencers do and how difficult it was for their job in terms of marketing things were. So it gives me perspective on people who do influencing on YouTube. It gives me perspective on social media and how to track that, and it gives me perspective on it makes me practice my graphic design, makes me practice my video editing, makes me practice my product photography, and it makes me draw, which I enjoy doing. So I enjoy creating content and doing all those things, and it gives me a better idea of when I'm marketing, what I'm asking someone to do. So that was the main reason for the shop. By no means did I think that it would become what it is now, where it's now finally reached 500 sales. Thank you guys. You guys, thank you so much. I never thought that my art would sell that much, and apparently it is, somewhat popular. So, that's great. I'm glad that, people are enjoying the stickers, they're enjoying the things that I'm creating, and the work that I'm putting in is being returned, and I'm very happy for that and very thankful for the people that have helped me along the way. So because of the 500 sales, I will be doing a shop sale at some point. I will. I promise. I will. But I am really tired right now, and so I need a little bit of a breather. So the shop sale will probably happen in November, because November is my birthday month. Yay, birthday! Although I don't really want to turn another year older. Anyway, that's off point. Let's get back to Fan Expo. So, the pros of Fan Expo. And I want to talk about the pros first, because the pros, it's always good to start off with the good stuff, the positive stuff. Fan Expo in its entirety was made good because of the people that came, because of the energy they brought, because of the cosplay that they spent so much time on, because, just because of those people that came to the expo, that had a good attitude, that wanted to be with everybody again. That sort of feeling was the consensus at the expo. Everybody was more like they wanted to be together. They want things to have a form of normalcy. And there was a little bit of normalcy there, just seeing a crowd of people, but not so much so that it wasn't safe. I mean, everyone wore their mask, everyone did what they were supposed to do. Cannot say the same about the people who actually run Fan Expo. They did not do protocol like they were supposed to, but I will get into that later. For those of you who came by to say hi, for those of you that bought from my little booth, my booth, A123. I don't know why I got an ABC. I keep wanting to do 1, 2, 3, ABC, like a child. But anyway, my booth was A123, and it was a very small booth. Not all the vendors came, and again, I'll talk about that later. But our spot was a good spot. We had good neighbors, and it was interesting. I had I had a good time, and we were busy for the most part. So that's why I'm super tired. And we did good this year. Surprisingly, I thought for sure that a lot of people wouldn't have showed up, but they did. So, if you came by and said hi and whatnot, I appreciate it. I want to give a special thanks to Jonathan. He is my nephew, one of my nephews. He came by, he stayed with me on Friday to man the booth, and he also wanted to see a VTuber, so he came, and a lot of people were on work and at school, and he had the day off, so he came and he helped me out at the booth. And Jen, who came on Saturday, she's my bestie, and we were laughing the entire time. Probably not the best sales tactic, but yeah, we were joking around and laughing, and it was a good time. It made the time fly, and when we were busy, we were busy, but we were still in good spirits. So thanks to her, because she made Saturday hilarious. She made it great. And then my husband came on Sunday, and I want to thank him too. But the weird part about Sunday was when my husband would leave the shop, like he would leave my booth, I would start getting a flood of sales. And I wasn't even engaging. I was reading my book, Ready Player 2, while customers were walking by to see my stuff, because I found that a lot of people don't want people to bother them too much. They don't want to, you say hi. If you have any questions, let me know. But my husband would be like, hi, I like your cosplay, blah, blah, and he would just talk. So I think he was turning people off to the booth. So I sent him away for an hour just to test this theory. And while he was gone, consistent sales. And then he would come back and it would be dead for half an hour. And I'm like, I think it's you, and he's like, oh man, I should have just dropped you here and just not come, right? But I appreciate his help regardless of why that would be. It was hilarious to me anyway. But yeah, he was like, but it's weird because every time I'd send him out, he would come back with other people's art. So he had bought stickers and prints and pins and things from other artists, which I condone. He should do that, because I think that supporting other artists is very important. I think we bought some stuff from Clevu, who came down, and I didn't even know she came down, but she did. I was like, oh, I know this artist, because I follow them on Instagram. And then I bought some stuff from Tokyo Shoujo, which is another Instagram that I follow. And yeah, he would go out, come back, and then he'd have a bag of stuff. I'm like, dude, you're not making any money, and you're spending your money. He's like, I got freelance. And so he's spending his own pocket money on all that stuff. So I'm like, you do what you want with your money. It's good. I'm glad that you're supporting local artists at least. So yeah, that happened on Sunday, and I want to thank him too. And then I want to thank my parents. My mom and dad stayed over at my house because their house was being completely renovated. So they were staying with me for, I think, 3 weeks. And my mom helped me pack some of the prints. Yes, I slave labor for my mom. I'm kidding. She was, she actually volunteered to do it. And she did a good job. And my dad drove me down on Friday. We do have a new car, and I did drive it, and I do drive around town, but not so much on the highway and not so much downtown, and that's a long story. I'll leave it for another time, but the short version of it is that I got hit by a car in 2016 while I was biking, and the guy he ran a red light, and the car was a pickup truck, so I did break 3 bones. And now I know what it's like to get hit by a car. So driving for me it causes me a bit of anxiety. So the fact that I was able to drive again and that I'm driving okay now is good. And it's a very big step forward for me. I know probably doesn't seem like much to other people, but it's a very big step for me. Just like walking again was a very big step for me, because I had to learn how to do that again. But again, separate topic. So again, the good things about Fan Expo were the people, and the energy they brought, and the people that helped me out, and the people that said hi, and just in general, the people. The bad things about Fan Expo: the people organizing it are completely disorganized. Completely. I think 10 years ago, Hobby Star was the one who was organizing it, and they were super organized. They would tell you months in advance that you have a table, they send you your package, they tell you where to get your badge, etc., etc. This time, when I went to go pick up the badges, they sent us an e-newsletter that said, go to the south parking. No, sorry, they went to loading dock. That's what they put in the email. And you wouldn't have known that it was the south parking unless you actually opened the PDF file that's linked to it. So I went there and I went to the south parking, which was the correct parking. We paid $35, me and my husband, we paid $35 to park there. We went to the service elevator like we were supposed to. We spoke to the security guard, and when we spoke to him, he looked as though we were talking to him in alien language. He's like, I have no idea what you're talking about, blah, blah, blah. I think you have to get out of the parking lot and go to the other loading dock. So I'm like, okay, but it says to be here. But he kept saying to go over there. So we ended up wasting $35 because we went to a different loading dock that he sent us to, where the exhibitors, the big exhibitors, are the ones that book a time to unload there. So there were no signs, no nothing. And when we went there, thankfully the guy at the loading dock knew what we were talking about and sent us on our way. However, when I went to the girl at the counter, she said the person who had the badges had left for the day. And we arrived there at 7 and they were supposed to stay there until 8 o'clock. So she was calling them up, but then she realized that we weren't looking for the girl that was booking the loading times. We were looking for the girl who was going to give us our badges. Anyway, we went to, when she figured that out, she sent us somewhere else. We went there, we spoke to another security guard, and he says to us that we have to scan the QR code and do that whole quiz about, have you been out of the country? Do you feel sick? Blah, blah, blah. And we said, we did the QR thing. And then the guy with the actual badges came, or the guy or girl, whoever, came with the badges. Security guard said, they did the QR thing, blah, blah, blah. And he gave us the badges. The problem with this, they did not check our QR code for proof of vaccination. When the security guard said they did the QR code thing, the other guy thought he meant they showed proof of vaccination. So I can guarantee and vouch for the fact that they did not check everybody for proof of vaccination. Did not. For the exhibitors or the vendors, which that is probably why I brought a gigantic bottle of sanitizer, and every time I would sanitize every time I made a sale. But yeah, they weren't checking. And even the days that I did go in, they said, people with a white wristband have proof of vaccination, but they never bothered to check mine, and they didn't bother to check half the people in Artist Alley. So I'm kind of like, you're not really doing your job in that sense. Even though you guys are saying security's tight, everyone's vaccinated. It's not true. Like, you're lying. So no, wasn't organized in that sense. And if you were at the convention or at the expo, please, 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 please make sure that you had sanitized and that you were getting rest and that you are making sure that you did not contract that at all, COVID. In another story, my nephew and I on Friday went to take the service elevator back to the parking lot. The door was open. It was not closed. There was no one in the elevator, but we figured, okay, well, there's just buttons. You just press them. So we pressed to the first floor, and then when we got to the first floor, we couldn't move up or down, and the door outside of the first floor was locked. So the service elevator was closed, but they didn't bother to lock it, put a sign, or do anything. Now, for me, I was okay. I said, there's a number in the elevator. I can call it. I'm not going to panic, So I told my nephew, I will get you home. Don't worry. It'll happen. However, there was another elevator next to us, and that guy did the same thing we did, except his elevator stopped on the 800th floor, and he couldn't get out of his elevator. So all I'm hearing there is, let me out, blah, blah, blah. Oh my God, he was panicking and having a panic anxiety attack in the elevator. And so when I called the security guard, I told them there are 2 people stuck. I'm stuck on floor 1, and this guy's stuck in the elevator on floor 800, and he's panicking. Like, can you please do something? And so she's talking to me like, oh, I shouldn't even be there and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, you guys didn't put a sign. You said nothing. You didn't even announce that the service elevators were closed. So then she's like, oh, okay, you go to floor 8. But then 8 could mean 8 or it doesn't mean 800. So anyway, long story short, it was very disorganized. And yes, I did get home, obviously. But and I hope that guy that got stuck in the other elevator got home too. But we had to do a whole walk around to get to the parking lot, which was not ideal and very stupid, and there's no signs or arrows or anything. On day 2, they were supposed to close at 7. The badge that I was wearing says that Fan Expo closes at 7. The printed sheet says it closes at 7. Everything says it closes at 7. So me and Jen were sitting there, me and my friend, and we're like, oh, it's time to go home, blah, blah, blah. And I'm not like complaining, you know, an extra hour of sales means nothing. It's great that they want to do that. But tell us, it would be nice if they had told everybody that they closed at 8 o'clock, because they changed it on the website but didn't change it anywhere else and didn't tell anybody. So a lot of the people, like my neighbors and Artist Alley, were like, what's going on? They're not announcing it. So when they did finally announce it at like 7:45, oh, the Fan Expo, blah, blah, get your last purchases. You know, the expo closes at 7, but it's past 7. It's now 7:45. And half the people in the exhibitors were laughing because, you know, they said 7, they put 8 on the site today, like that day, and didn't tell anyone. So everybody was confused. And then the second announcement, she corrected herself and said 8 o'clock. So that happened on Saturday and Sunday. Thankfully, there were no mishaps that day. But yes, the people that are running Fan Expo are very disorganized, and I want to say very dishonest too, because for the people that bought tickets, and I follow a Facebook page, the Fan Expo Canada Facebook page, for the people that bought tickets, I kind of feel bad for them in a sense, because a lot of guests were supposed to come. They had them written on the site. And maybe about a week before Fan Expo happened, they kept saying, this person canceled, this person canceled, this person canceled. And I'm kind of like, okay, but you didn't tell them earlier. They bought tickets because they thought these people were coming, and now they're not coming, and you announced it a week before, and I'm pretty sure you're not giving them a refund for their tickets, right? So it's natural for guests to cancel and drop out, like here and there, and then have other people come in, and especially during COVID, like totally understandable. But tell them earlier, you know, and you can't say that you didn't know earlier. You did, because the stars posted that they weren't coming on their social media, so other people knew that the guests weren't coming because they follow them on Instagram or they follow them on Twitter, and they said the movie star or the voice actor, whoever, said so on their social media like weeks in advance. And then 1 week before the show, you tell people, nope, not coming. That's not cool, you know? So in that sense, no, that was not good. And I think, like, for me personally, I'm not going to do Fan Expo again. Maybe Anime North, or some other expo, if I, you know, have the energy to do it, but not this one, because especially with whoever it's being run by right now. So those were the cons of Fan Expo. Yes, I know, there's a lot of them. And I did thank the people that, you know, came by, and I think that I appreciate all the people that came out to the expo. One of the other people I want to thank is both my sister and the actor Paul Appa from Kim's Convenience. He actually announced on his live stream where my booth was, or rather, he's like telling my sister. My sister posted it on his chat, and that was amazing. Like, again, not everybody would go out of their way to do that, and he did. And I'm happy to announce that his sticker sold quite a bit. So, I'm assuming that certain people that watch his live stream came over from that live stream to get that particular sticker when they went to the expo. He himself did not go to the expo, and I don't blame him. Like, honestly, again, it was disorganized. On top of that, I did get a message from an Etsy customer who told me that a YouTuber named Who's Booze, I'm going to leave a link to their channel down below if I can. They did a haul where they bought stuff from different Etsy shops, and they bought my stickers and they gave me a shout out. So I want to give them a shout out in return, just because, I'm very thankful that you bought from my shop and that you announced it and stuff. So thanks for that. The other thing I want to say is that, I reached 500 sales on the shop, which is awesome. Like, again, the shop started out as an experiment for me to practice all my stuff. And it ended up becoming one of those things where it's now sort of functioning on its own. And I don't really need to do much to it except for add my content. So speaking of adding content, I did add content. So while I was binge watching stuff and packing orders, I ended up doing Squid Game stickers because I was binge watching Squid Game. And if you haven't watched Squid Game yet, you should. Because it's a pretty good Korean drama / whatever you want to call it. If it's not for children, so if you're a kid and you're younger, don't watch it. But if it's, if you're an adult, watch it. It's pretty funny and pretty violent. But I did the Squid Game stickers, the circle, square, and triangle with the red light, green light doll and 001 player. So there's those, and they've already been added to the shop. The other thing I did, and these will only be available until October 31st, and I'm going to show them two at a time, are Ghibli Halloween. So these are limited edition stickers, and they're going to be on the shop probably until the first week of November or so, and then they're going to be taken down. So there's No Face and Totoro. Trick-or-treating, a little bit of fun there. And these are, again, limited edition, and they will be taken down beginning of November. Due to the 500 sales and my birthday month coming up, there will be a shop sale happening. I just have to figure out how to do it. And once I figure that out, then we will get that in there. And I'm not sure yet what percentage I'm going to put off, but we'll see. And if you had gone to Fan Expo and there was something that you missed or you didn't get, majority of the stock that I had there is being merged into the shop. So there'll be the items that I had at the con or expo will be in the shop probably next month as well. In terms of announcements, that's pretty much it. One of the things you'll see in the video is Screaming Heads. I don't know if you guys know what that is, but I certainly did not. My sister wanted to go and she told me about it, and I said, sure, let's go, and I went with my dad and my sister, and we had a good day of it. It's one of those things that, you should probably see once. It's interesting. The guy who owns the place owns a large property of land, and he builds Screaming Heads built out of concrete. And I didn't know what his artwork was about until he actually explained it. And it's a little morbid, so I'm not gonna explain what it is, but going there and seeing it, especially for Halloween, was pretty interesting. So you will see that and a little bit of Fan Expo footage in the video. That should be everything. Hopefully I didn't miss anything. And yeah, so enjoy the vlog. I hope you enjoy me bantering about and ranting and raving about all the different things. One of the topics, again, that I was supposed to touch on, and I didn't just now because I forgot, in terms of if you are a vendor that's going to show at Fan Expo, make sure that you send in your bid early. They want a form, and then they want a check. And mailing a check, I'm sorry, that's the most old-fashioned type of getting a table I have ever seen. By now, they should be doing some sort of e-transfer deposit direct to them or something along those lines that's secure to buy a table at the convention. They shouldn't be having people mail checks out to them and then wait months in advance. But if you are going, make sure you mail out your check, make sure you fill out your form. Make sure you measure the table to figure out your setup. And once you've gone to the trouble of buying rigs and things for your setup, make sure you mock the setup up before you go so you know what you're doing when you go. Take inventory before you go to print prints or whatever you're going to print. If you're an artist that's starting out, I would recommend printing a low quantity. Don't print high. Chances are, if it doesn't sell, then you might end up with stock in your basement sitting there for months at a time. So yeah, if you're a new artist and you're just starting out and you want to go to the convention and you put in your bid for a table for next year or whatever, check the site maybe about a couple months in advance and then mail out your form, mail out your check, and then plan out your table, plan out your stock. It does cost quite a bit for a table. Because this was limited edition, it cost, I think, $385 plus tax. I think that came up to $435. I don't remember. Something like that. And prints and things, if you're doing it at home, obviously it will cost less. If you're doing it with a professional, it may, if they usually like you to print in big quantity. This year for me, I did not print in a big quantity just because I haven't done the expo in 10 years. I'm kind of like, I don't want to have too much stock in my house. And the good thing about me having more stock or leftover stock from the expo is that I have a shop to put it on. So keep that in mind. If you had printed more or less, make sure, like if you're printing more stock, make sure you have another outlet to sell it on after the convention. Whether that be you have a Gumroad or you're doing ArtStation or you have a shop online or a website or anything like that, make sure that you have another outlet to sell your stuff. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean, for artists that are starting out, it can be difficult. When you do go to the convention, I know there was a girl in my aisle it was her first convention and she looked a bit lost on what to do, and she was asking other people. Yeah, if it's your first, like, don't get discouraged by people if they don't buy your stuff right off the bat. I mean, for me, it wasn't like that, but when I did start the first year that I went, it was like that. Like, I sat there and I was like, oh man, no one's buying my stuff, just don't get discouraged. Your stuff might not be everyone's cup of tea, or maybe at the time you just needed to learn that, how to actually show at a convention and be successful, or maybe you just need more practice with art to get better for next year, but either way, don't get discouraged. Art is subjective, and if you do your best, usually it gets you somewhere, you learn something from it, and it's never a wasted experience, ever. So in terms of Fan Expo, no, it wasn't a wasted experience. I experienced a lot, and I got to meet a lot of people, and I am very happy for that. And yes, I did make back my money, so it's not a total loss in that, and I gained money as well, and the shop is still making money. So for those of you starting out, that's all you can hope for. You can hope to get your money back, and you want to be able to at least break even. And that's an important part. But if you don't, again, you're paying for experience. So yeah, I'll leave it at that little tidbit. I don't want to be too lecturing you. Yeah, see, I can't even speak properly, and yet, I'm trying to teach people on the values of things. Anyway, enjoy the vlog and have a good one. Hey, Dougie. Hey, whiny Dougie. Hello. Hello.
Hello.
What is this place called again? What is this place called again?
Screaming Heads.
He says Creepy Hollow.
Creepy Hollow.
She says Screaming Heads. I think it's Screaming Heads. I think you're making stuff up.
It just creeps me out.
It is pretty creepy. I'm trying to not get there like, oh, there's 3 over there. That's where they live. I'm gonna take a little hike, get some farmers market goods, and take some photos. Should be fun.
Content, I guess.
Hi, Jonathan.
Hi.
This is my cousin. Nephew or cousin?
Nephew.
I call you cousin.
Yeah.
He's having trouble putting together. He's normally very good at this stuff, though.
It takes a little, once I get going, I go fast.
I know. I'm waiting for you to go faster so we can race. No, I'm kidding. We're at Fan Expo, just setting up all the booths. This year there's not as many vendors and not as many people coming, so we'll see how it goes.
Oh, it's me. I'm Nick, and I'm here at Fan Expo. How did I get here? I don't know.
You drove here.
Oh, yeah. This is Fantomu Artbox.
Day 3.
Yeah.
I'm tired.
Yeah.
I've been doing this for 3 days now.
Yeah.
I think my con days are over.
Uh-oh. I double posted.
Oh.
No.
See? Your Instagramming skills. You're losing your touch.
I'm trying to help.
As you can see, a lot of the artists there's not a lot this year. Like, this table has been empty all weekend. This guy's stuff is pretty good. My neighbor, who we don't really talk to, but, he has good stuff. They're gonna come later, I'm sure. Other people have their stuff covered. She's really nice. I don't know what her stuff is, though.
Oh, let's go shop.
Okay, let's go shop.
Yeah.
We're gonna go shop?
Yeah,
Okay.
sounds good.
I like how you're staring.
Oh, am I?
No, don't do that. So close.